Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Byington. I'm your instructor for this course, and this is just a quick video to cover the bases, just the few things you need to know to get started in the course. So we're going to go to your online European literature course. The main thing you want to know about are some of the materials in the content tab. So in content, the main thing you need to know about this semester is the course calendar right here. I'm going to start with the syllabus. The syllabus tells you some important things like the rules in the course, as well as my office hours, which are by appointment only, the link to the textbook, and the point system for how many points each item in the course is worth. So if this looks a little confusing, all you have to do is think to yourself, oh, just drop the last number at the end, and then you can kind of navigate that as a percentage if that's easier for you to work with. So for example, the exams are worth 500 points of the total 1,000 points in the course, meaning they are worth 50% of your overall grade. And this breaks that down for you as like the first two are worth 15% or 150 points each. And then the last one, your final, is worth 20% or 200 points. You can look at it as points or percentage, whichever way is easiest for you. This is all the same. It all works out. You have the grading scale for 2000 level literature courses here. The main thing I want to point out is the plagiarism policy. It should be pretty obvious not to do it. Don't copy work from online or other people and submit it as your work, your intellectual property, if it's not. You will be, of course, citing other sources in your final papers, or maybe even your paper proposals. We're going to talk about that when we get there. But for now, you need to make sure that, for example, when you take one of the exams or you do one of the visual response exercises, that you are not copying and pasting material from the internet. I catch it every semester, no matter how many times I tell people not to do it, and it's an automatic zero for the first instance, and then if it happens again, you're going to fail the course. Something we've had to add recently is the use of work generated by artificial intelligence. So I'm going to allow you to use it as a tool. I'm going to be using software that can detect how much of the paper is generated by AI software. I'm going to allow you, if you read here, that you are allowed to use up to approximately 10 words of AI generated content in a paper proposal and no more than 20 words in the final paper. If you play with it and it helps you, like you use it as a springboard for your ideas, I think that's perfectly acceptable. But this is the limit. Very little of it can be what you get from the AI app that writes the material for you. And if you use it, you must cite it. It cannot count as an outside source. You just simply must cite it. So you are acknowledging to me, hey, this is not my writing voice. Make sure you familiarize yourself with all of this content in the plagiarism section so you don't find yourself in trouble. But in general, most people don't, that this is not an issue. Most people follow the rules and most people do their own work. But I just kind of have to say, hey, don't do this, to say that I told you so. You can familiarize yourself also with the rest of the material in the syllabus on your own time, such as my policy for late work, and in what situations I would be willing to work with you. But in general, you need to follow the guidelines, the due dates. We have a whole calendar, a sort of master calendar, as I call it, in D2L that you need to stick with. So I'm going back to the content tab. So I was just in the syllabus module. I'm now going to the course calendar module. Everything you need to know, as I said before, is in this section. So I divide the course into units. So we have the first unit starting in the ancient world, the second going into the European Middle Ages and Renaissance. And then we go into the modern world, and I include literary criticism in my class because that tends to make it easier for people to think about how to write analytically in their final papers in the end of the course. So what you'll want to learn to recognize in this calendar is when you have something due. I do a color-coded version of a calendar, as you can see. So you always know you have something due if it's standing out in the text. So more serious things like an exam or a paper proposal, some colors that should give you some a sense of urgency, right? A visual response assignment, these are low stakes assignments. They are not worth as many points, but they add up across the semester, so you don't want to miss one. You have 5 of those throughout the semester. You have 3 exams, and you have 2 paper proposals. The first 2 exams are due on the same day that the paper proposals are due, because that means we are done with that unit, we are done with that era of content, we're moving on. So you have to wrap everything up. In the online class, you will take this exam. So for example, exam 1, by going to evaluation and going to assessments. It shows you the length of time that it is open before you hit start quiz. And also I give you about a week. You have about 6 days scheduled where the exam is open. So you have a wide window to take it. So there's no excuse for not taking it on time. The paper proposal, I'm going to cover how to do that assignment in another video. Same for when we get to exam 2, you will take it in assessments just like before, and same thing for the paper proposal. I should mention visual response exercises like those in blue, like this one and this one, as well as paper proposal assignments. When those are due, those go in drop boxes. So you'll click evaluation and then Dropbox. And I'll just go ahead and go to the Dropbox because we're done talking about the calendar. So just make sure that you put it in the correct Dropbox, its respective label, because if you put it in another one, I'm not going to know that it's there. If you accidentally put it in something that we already did, I'm not going to be going back and seeing that. If you accidentally put it in something we haven't done yet, I'm not going to see it until that week or a few weeks away, whatever it is. So that can be problematic for you. The next thing, let me show you where it is in your content tab again, like this video is all about everything in the content tab, just the basics of finding stuff, right? Because I know all of your courses, their D2L shells don't all look the same. So the section a little further down, now like I said, I'll talk about paper proposals and visual responses in another video. But going on down the column here, you have something labeled video lectures. I have video lectures for the material covered in the class. These are pre-recorded, so you can watch them at any time. It's for your convenience. The breakdown of everything covered in that, some of that material comes up in the exams. The other place you're going to find answers to the exams is here. So you have these three sections, Unit 1, 2, and 3, just like it's the same way it's broken up in the calendar, right? So these are all of your PowerPoints, and depending on what it is, sometimes I bring it up in the recorded video lecture. Give you extra links. So, for example, when we're talking about the ancient world material that I cover, a lot of that is all interconnected. A lot of those characters are all that they are recycled in each work that succeeds them in some way or another. So, such as going from the Iliad to Euripides, the Trojan Women, and then going into the Aeneid. That whole idea of the Trojan War and the fall of the city of Troy, all of that is in that unit. And so I tried to give you some additional summary material, some links for some of the characters, so it all makes a little more sense. So because all that Trojan War cycle stuff, it's a really large canvas with many faces and situations. And I'm just trying to help you zoom in on a few certain places. Same thing goes for Unit 2. A lot of the stuff that we talk, some of the themes we talk about in Unit 1, that's going to come up recycled in different ways when we get into Unit 2. Same for when we get into Unit 3. So your literary theory material is also going to be in that unit. So that is just the basis. I'm going to try to not talk anymore, so your video is short. That's the basic layout of how to find everything, all the basic stuff that you need for this course. Now, I'm just going to the syllabus one more time to remind you how you find my contact information. My email address is in the syllabus. You can also go to course tools. And if you go to class list and just make sure you select the tab with instructor on it, you can email me that way as well if you have questions. And otherwise, I look forward to having you this semester. Thanks.